The AI boom is quietly making your mortgage more expensive, and nobody told you. You never bought these companies and never lent them a cent, yet you helped fund them. In 1 year, 5 tech giants borrowed $121 billion to build AI. That is triple what they borrowed only 5 years earlier, and the pace keeps climbing higher. That money is not free, and it competes for the same dollars as your own loans. It even reaches your mortgage, which is priced right on top of a government bond. So your car loan, your savings, even the national debt, quietly feel its weight too. This is how the AI gold rush reached your bank account, through a market you ignore. To see how, look at the least glamorous corner in all of finance, the bond market. When a company needs more cash than it earns, it borrows by selling bonds to investors. A bond is a giant IOU. They take your money now, repay it later with interest. For years, this was sleepy, but building AI costs more than even the richest companies hold. The largest tech firms plan to spend around $3 trillion on data centers by 2028. Only about half can come from their own cash, so the rest has to be borrowed. In 2025 alone, 5 of them sold a record $121 billion in bonds. Morgan Stanley expects AI borrowing to reach around $570 billion in 2026. Meta alone sold a record $30 billion in bonds, nicknaming its debt deals after fried dough. Here is the problem. Only so much money is hunting for bonds at any single moment. The government is already the biggest borrower on Earth, selling trillions in treasuries to cover deficits. Now the AI giants crowd into that same line, asking the same investors for their cash. When borrowers compete for limited money, the price of borrowing rises. That price is the rate. Torsten Slok of Apollo asked bluntly, "Who is left to buy all this new debt?" Already the tech sector may issue up to $1.5 trillion in coming years. As that pressure builds, the yield on government bonds climbs, and this summer it climbed hard. The 30-year Treasury hit its highest level in 19 years, and the 10-year followed. One recent auction needed the highest yields in 2 decades just to find willing buyers. That 10-year yield is the number that quietly sets nearly every American mortgage rate. Remember your mortgage. It sits right on top of that same 10-year Treasury bond. So when AI borrowing pushes that yield higher, it lifts the floor under your home loan. This is not a typo, and not a coincidence. It is the same money, same lenders. And mortgages are only the first place it lands. The pressure reaches the government too. The United States now owes more than $38 trillion and refinances it constantly. When yields rise, the interest on that mountain rises too, and taxpayers are left paying. So the same borrowing wave lands twice, on your mortgage and on your tax dollars. To see how reckless this gets, look at one company above all the others, Oracle. Oracle is an old software giant that bet its future on becoming a landlord for AI. In 2025, it signed a single cloud deal with OpenAI worth $300 billion. That single deal alone needs power for 4 million homes, like 2 Hoover dams running non-stop. That is one of the largest contracts in corporate history, resting on a single customer. OpenAI promised roughly $60 billion a year, against revenue of only about 10 billion. And that customer loses billions each year and does not expect any profit until 2029. To build its promise, Oracle borrowed enormously. Its total debt now sits near 96 billion. It raised 18 billion in bonds, then took a $38 billion loan, more coming. One bank analysis put it plainly, spending money it lacks for customers not yet there. The bond market noticed the risk. It disliked what it saw, and it flinched hard. The cost to insure Oracle's debt spiked to levels unseen since the 2009 financial crisis. Analysts even warned its credit rating could slip to the very edge of junk status. And every dollar Oracle borrows adds to the same pressure sitting on your interest rates. So follow the money. The tech giants chase the prize. The debt spreads across the market. If the boom pays off, they win enormously, and you quietly carried part of the risk. If it stumbles, losses ripple through the bonds, the loans, and pensions holding this debt. And some of that debt is already rated near junk, borrowed at painfully high rates. Private reward and shared risk, the quiet arrangement underneath every single chapter of this boom. Now the hardest part, because this does not stop at your mortgage, it reaches your retirement. Most retirement accounts sit in a simple index fund tracking the 500 largest U.S. companies. It feels like the safest, most diversified bet in the world, 500 companies at once. But the index is weighted by size, so the biggest companies quietly take the biggest share. Today, just 7 AI-driven giants make up more than a third of that entire index. A decade ago, they were about 12%, so your safe fund became an AI bet. You did not choose that bet. The math chose it, holding their stocks and their debt. So the same handful of companies now sit inside your mortgage and inside your retirement. They profit from the boom, while you quietly hold the risk where you plan to retire. If following the money like this helps, this is the channel that does it weekly. Next time you open your statement, ask how much of your future rides on their bet.